This is the Evelo Omega, and it changed my perception on electric bike technology. Finally, I can say there is an electric bike that gives the rider all the benefits of electric cycling with zero complexity. Evelo has made this possible on an electric bike with automatic shifting, integrated motor power, and a clean delivery. This is a big leap in terms of electric bike advancement, and I'm getting close to declaring Evelo one of my favorite e-bike brands in the USA. If you don't love this bike, then someone you know absolutely will. The first question we need to address is, what does it do? The Evelo Omega is a step-through comfort city bike that is super simple, super clean. Do you notice something up here on the handlebars? Or rather, do you notice something missing? There is no shifter selector up here because it's all built into the drive system. Now, this is not a quote-unquote minimalist approach where they just cheap out and give you nothing. No, it's actually the opposite. This bike literally shifts itself and it is absolutely seamless. The Omega is rocking a custom programmed 750 watt torque sensing mid-drive combined with the Evelo automatic continuously variable transmission. And it's all interfacing with a Gates belt drive. This whole combination is fantastic, and the Evelo team has made strides to make it all come together to make it seem like it was born this way. This pedaling system hinges on your preference of cadence, or rather how many rotations you spin the pedals within a minute. To give you a frame of reference, most beginner cyclists will do around 60 to 80 rotations per minute, while an experienced hobbyist will do around 75 to 95. Using the automatic system, all you have to do is set the RPMs to the comfort level for you, and then boom, the bike does the rest. Uphill, downhill, flat, stop, start. The bike will just keep your selected cadence, and you never need to worry again. And dude, this bike has a throttle. If you want to blast up a hill and your legs give out, all you have to do is just use that get out of jail free card and off you go. The belt drive interface between the motor and the smooth geared hub, it is so smooth. This belt doesn't have a tinge of lag between pedaling and tension, and it makes for a buttery riding experience that gives you the feeling of walking on air. Also, the belt drive doesn't need regular maintenance like a chain does, and will subsequently last much longer. The belt is a sign of a really nice bike, and the Omega is no exception. I gotta say, it did take me a minute to get the hang of the entire drivetrain. Actually, a little bit more than a minute. The first time I rode it, it was kind of strange. From a stop, it felt kind of loose, like I was in a really big sprocket, but shortly the automatic shifting hub kicked in, and it changed until I was right where I wanted to be. Going up and down a hill was also a strange experience, because I have this ingrained motion in my hands to change the gears or to slow down to relieve tension on the system. All of my cycling habits over the years didn't really apply. It felt like a nervous tick for a little while, but I finally got over it. I noticed that when I set the cadence sensor for a low number, the battery range would drop. This makes sense since it's asking the motor to do more work, but guess what? Evelo thought ahead for this too. It turns out you can get a dual battery setup for this bike to nearly double the range. The second pack is slightly smaller than the stock battery, being a difference of 15 amp hours in the bike and 14.5 amp hours for the add-on battery. With this kind of energy reserve, it's possible to see 100 miles of range on a single trip. It's a lot longer than I want to sit on the bicycle, honestly. Now, this bike is so incredible, so smooth, so impressive that I forgot about pretty much everything else. Evelo has put in the groundwork for some great attention to detail on this bike. The wheels, which perfectly fit the wide and comfortable tires, they make for a really comfortable ride on top of that. They also have a very upright and easy riding position. Now, the integrated battery fits in really well and cleans up the aesthetic very nice. The long fenders are a must for city riding, and the front and rear taillights make it safe and seen. I'll tell you right now that the seat for this bike is really not that great. A lot of it has to do with the upright riding position. Maybe over time the seat will conform, but out of the box it's not really comfortable. If you wanted to, you could upgrade this, and it's actually super easy. Now, I really can't tell you how much I enjoyed riding this bike despite the seat. A peaceful trip on the river trail, just cruising along without a care in the world, pedaling exactly where I want with the motor power that complements it so well. This really is like being a kid again. I mean, you remember, you would ride all night long and you never shifted, you never worried about range or hills. You just loved to explore as a kid, and that's what this bike can do. For a cost, of course. I mean, let's cut to the chase. This kind of cutting-edge technology will take a cut from your wallet. And the Evelo Omega is coming in hot at $4,699. For a city bike, that's definitely on the higher end of pricing, but it's also on the high end of technology. A competitor bike, which I won't mention by name, has a similar drive unit. However, that competitor motor is slated for 250 watts instead of 750 for the Evelo. It also doesn't have access to a throttle. That competitor bike is selling for around $8,600. With the Evelo coming in for thousands less and having more features, it looks like a slam dunk. But then again, who is this bike really made for? I think it's made for someone getting back into cycling after a long time. I think the bike would be incredible for that. People who are intimidated by shifting and when and where to do it. The kind of folks who just want to be a kid and keep up with their spouse without all the hassle. This is a really good bike to consider. Myself, I could totally get the hang of it. It is quite comfortable, but all of my cycling experience really leads me to want to shift as I'm riding. While I'm really impressed with this kind of tech, if you're like me and you already have a cycling background, you would probably admire the bike more than you would actually need it. Overall, I think the Evelo Omega is a fantastic electric cruiser with the most incredibly easy, smooth, and useful technology. This is the easiest bike to use on the market today. Evelo is becoming one of my favorite electric bike companies in America, making some of the best bikes on the road. They're not the fastest, they're not the most flashy, and they're certainly not the cheapest bike, but by golly, they know what attracts the American market, and it's that feeling of having 10-year-old legs with carefree cycling. So there's my thoughts on the Evelo Omega, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm Mikey for Electrek, and I will see you on the later.